Yes, I know New Year's has come and gone, and yes, I know I'm late to the party. So much so, the drinks are all gone and the metaphorical DJ is busy packing up his stuff. But anyway, better late than never, so for whatever it may be worth, here is my list for 2024's top 5 Formula One drivers. He may have just missed out on P10 in the Drivers' Championship, but that near miss has done nothing to detract from Nico Hülkenberg's brilliant 2024 season. After successfully completing comeback number 17,312 in 2023 with Haas and eviscerating teammate Kevin Magnussen, who himself had the measure of Mick Schumacher in 2022, Nico Hülkenberg has continued to impress. Having outdone K-Mag in both quali and race head-to-heads this season, Hülkenberg has also secured 10 points finishes for a grand total more than double that of his teammate. For a team that finished last in the Constructors' Championship in 2023, this has been quite the turnaround, and Hülkenberg's points tally could have been even more eye-catching had he been able to convert any one of his 7 11th place finishes. Yes, there were poor showings in Qatar and Sao Paulo, but Hülkenberg's highlights more than made up for them. He's consistently gotten the best out of his equipment, has kept mistakes to a minimum, kept his head up even when things haven't gone his way, and has put himself in an ideal place to capitalize whenever things have gotten chaotic at the sharp end. Austria is a case in point. It remains to be seen whether or not Sauber will be able to bounce back after its dismal 2024 campaign. That said, what is certain is that regardless of how they may do, the Swiss squadron has secured a very, very valuable asset in Nico Hülkenberg. Whatever you may think of that bust-up in Qatar, there's little denying the great season George Russell has had, especially since, coming into 2024, he was kind of on the back foot, having been comprehensively outdone by Sir Lewis Hamilton in 2023. But come this season, Russell really has taken it to the 7-time world champion, having outraced him 13-7 and outqualified him 19-5, the average gap being a significant 0.2 of a second. Let's not forget his teammate is statistically the most successful qualifier in history. What's more, Russell has managed all this while encumbered with more than his fair share of bad luck. A likely podium at Silverstone fell victim to a water pressure issue, while the 25 points he gathered for that win at Spa were, through no fault of his own, taken away and given to his teammate. Despite all that, Russell still managed to outscore Hamilton by 22 points. It remains to be seen how he will cope with his new role as effective team leader, what with Kimi Antonelli coming in. But if 2024 is anything to go by, George Russell has shown both his ability to bounce back after a bad year and hold his own against one of the greatest drivers of all time. Yes, he's fluffed more starts than I can count, and yes, the quote-unquote title fight between him and Max Verstappen never really got off the ground. But I still think Lando Norris has, in a way, made a step up in 2024. He's finally landed that long-awaited first win in Miami, has proven himself in qualifying with an impressive 8 pole positions, and has comfortably outdone a very, very capable teammate in Oscar Piastri. He's pulled off impressive comeback drives like in Baku, has led from the front like in Singapore, and while mistakes have been present, that last win in Abu Dhabi, one he effectively had to seal in order to ensure the Constructors' title for McLaren, shows that he can, on his day, deliver under pressure. He's going to have to iron out those mistakes if he's to have any chance at winning a world title in the future, but permanently writing off Norris after the events of 2024 isn't right. Think about Sebastian Vettel in 2009. Yes, Brawn had a major pace advantage in the early part of the season, but that soon tailed off. Both Seb and Red Bull had the opportunity to win the title that year, and while luck was not always on his side, a handful of mistakes prevented him from doing so. It would have been very easy to dismiss Vettel after 2009, saying that he lacked the consistency needed to become world champion, but just look what happened the following year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. I'm not saying we're on the cusp of some new era of Norris domination. What I am saying is it is far too early to dismiss him outright and state that he will never win a world championship. While the media was busy drumming up a title fight that never really existed in the first place, Charles Leclerc quietly put together what has arguably been his strongest season thus far. The highs have been obvious. He broke his Monaco curse, took a second win at Monza, and dominated from start to finish at Austin. But that aside, Leclerc's consistency has been of note. 21 top 5 finishes out of 24 races, 13 trips to the podium, and 3 pole positions. Small wonder Leclerc was closer to Norris in the standings than Norris was to Max for the majority of the season. What's more, the mistakes that have on occasion hindered him in the past are no longer present. He's bested Sainz yet again, despite the latter's purple patch at the beginning and tail end of the season, and one can't help but think that given his improvement and the experience he has from battling Verstappen in 2022, Leclerc is ready to both hold his own against his brand new teammate and go toe-to-toe with the very best in the business, provided Ferrari give him the opportunity to do so. Oh, and speaking of the very best, surprised? Yeah, right. Another year, another title, and this is not a guarantee of every multiple world champion, another spot at the top of most end-of-season rankings. For Max Verstappen to have not only won 4 straight titles, but to have been almost universally seen as the driver of the season for 4 years in a row is incredible. It hasn't been smooth sailing for the Dutchman in 2024, nor has it been without fault. Doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on, there's no defending what happened in Mexico, for example. But for the most part, this championship has revealed the breadth of Max's abilities more than any other. Never mind his early season dominance, a period best referred to as 2023.5, the fact that the points accumulated since Miami were still enough to make him champion tells you all you need to know. It's often said that winning a world championship is all about how many points you score on your worst day, and that is why Verstappen has retained his crown. When the rest of the field caught up, he either seized any winning opportunity that came his way, like in Canada or Spain, races where he made the difference, not the car, or he simply looked after whatever points were on offer. You look at races like Zandvoort and Singapore, where McLaren clearly had the upper hand. Max did not put up a fight when he knew the battle was lost. Instead, he consolidated his position and took home his points in a manner that was almost Prost-like. Oh, and to cap it all off, he decided to treat us all to one of the greatest wet weather drives of all time in Brazil. Yes, there are traces of Verstappen's old erratic self that still linger. That said, he has continued to grow, evolve, and mature in both his driving and his conduct, to the point where I have no trouble saying that the only thing stopping him from making it 5 in a row this season is a shambolic car. Give him even a faint opportunity, and he will be right back in that championship fight. Thank you all very much for watching. If you like what you see, feel free to hit all the requisite buttons down below, and I'll see you all very, very soon.